why should we start early in terms of saving and investing? Ano ba yung value? Sometimes kasi, if we have the money, instead of investing in saving, i-enjoyin pa natin sa mga ibang gagastosin. Pero, bakit ba importante na as early as now, regardless kung anong age ka, bakit maganda mag-invest and mag-save? So, this video is for you. In this video, we will talk about why investing early is such a valuable thing. Here with us is Enro Mendoza of Ramber Financials. So, in short, isa siya sa mga bossing doon, Vice President of Strategy and Business Transformation of Ramber. And siya rin yung nag-help para mag-digitize ng Ramber, yung sa mga processes and all. Also, itong Ramver, if ever you are not familiar with it, it's one of the largest mutual fund distributors with over 18 billion assets under management and was recognized as part of the top 10 wealth management service companies in Asia Pacific. So this man is young, pero even young, his wisdom is beyond his years. So Enro, it is an honor to have you here in Stock Smarts. Maraming salamat. Excited kami to learn from you.
Thank you Neil for that generous introduction. Grabe naman yung one of the bosses in Ramper. But yeah, excited to be here and thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, and kitang-kita naman, no? Like sa face mo pa lang, Gen Z-ish. 'Di ba? Gen Z-ish and
borderline.
Borderline, pero still at least you relate to people dun sa younger generation, Gen Z. And yun yung pag-usapan natin eh. And I'm sure, especially with your background, you've invested early, saved early. It's not something na nabasa mo lang sa book or na panood mo sa YouTube. It's something that you lived out. Siguro, simulan ko na yung question, no? So, bakit ba importante na mag-invest, mag-save as young as you are? Or syempre, kung anong edad na meron sila. Ano bang value? Kasi minsan dinidelay ng mga tao eh. Hindi, saka na, mag-enjoy muna ako, travel. Ano ba yung value? Bakit ba kailangan mag-invest at mag-save na maaga?
Yeah, that's true. No, I think to answer that, I guess I want to give our audience a bit of a background of my upbringing and who I am. Just to share with everyone, parang I think I was blessed to have a good upbringing and to have financially responsible parents. So my dad is Rex Mendoza. Actually, sa office, we call him Boss Rex. So yes, I'm a second generation business owner. Our family business is Ramper Financials. And my mom naman is Ana Mendoza. So they raised me to become very financially responsible. I started budgeting my allowance. Tapos even when I was studying, medyo nagsa-side hustle na rin. Racket dito, racket dyan. So they really taught me the value of money and also the right habits. So I think I didn't have any problem when it comes to spending a lot. May mga luho pa rin, syempre, may mga gusto tayong toys na bilhin, kung ano man yan, kung gusto mo mag-travel or gadgets and whatnot. But I think what they instilled in me is the healthy spending habits and healthy relationship with money in a way na I shouldn't spend everything that I have. I still save a bit. Kasi importante rin yun, especially when I grow up. And yun nga, when I entered the workforce, when I was earning my own money, I still had those core values within me na hindi ko nakalimutan. So even when I had my own money, adult money, diba, as they say, parang I still had the right spending habits. Medyo I spent a bit kasi I can now go out, eat at good restaurants, I can travel and buy new things. Pero those core values stay the same. I appreciated everything that I have. I'm able to not spend everything, set aside savings, tapos eventually invest na rin. I think to answer your question head on na why start investing, start to have good money habits at an early age, it's really the runway that we have to be able to accumulate our wealth para pag retire natin, we don't need to work anymore. I think the younger generation, maybe that's something that they tend to forget or at least tend to dismiss kasi medyo malayo pa yung retirement. But for me, that's very powerful. Yung um, power of compound interest, the power of compounding. And yun nga, sabi nga ni Albert Einstein, it's the eighth wonder of the world kasi it's very powerful. It's your interest earning on interest. So imagine your investment just earning as the years go by, and then nagiging decades na to, so that eventually when you retire, you get to graduate na rin, na you don't need to work for money. It's your money working for you na. So, yun, I just wanted to preface that na okay yung upbringing ko, and I try to go on these talks. I try to provide content rin sa aming Ramper Financials channel, so that I get to share naman kung ano yung perspective of younger yuppie, di ba? Na parang younger generation still trying to work up my career, build up my income, pero at the same time, nag-enjoy ako, pero nag-save rin ako, nag-invest rin ako. I think it's a good balance between those two. It shouldn't be parang sobrang boring na nagbo-budget ka lang, hindi ka lumalabas with your friends, parang hindi ka masarap kasama. Pero at the same time, I'm still enjoying reasonably. Pero naglalaan ako, may emergency funds ako for a rainy day. I have my protection, insurance, and then I also have my investments. So, yun, hopefully that answers our first question, na parang yun nga, very powerful talaga yung compound interest.
Yeah, and yun nga yung maganda. Kaya I see the passion that you have, that you are blessed, that you are in a family that brought you up na may financial literacy. Ngayon, the reason why you are passionate about this, kasi hindi lahat may ganun eh. Kaya di ba yung nagkikwentuhan tayo, gusto mo mag-video ka kasi gusto mo magturo, gusto mo i-share what you have learned from them na hindi natutunan ng iba. And yun talaga, we see the value of investing and saving. Pero what's your advice to the Gen Z, the millennials na gusto mag-ipon, pero they are struggling because feeling nila sa ipon nila hindi masyado, or hindi, kumbaga, they feel like their earning is not enough. Ano yung mapapayo mo sa kanila?
Yeah, actually, first impression to that question as you were asking it, may nakita akong Facebook post recently. I'm not sure if you've seen it, Neil. Yung parang, ang bilis na daw gumastos ng 600 kasi 150 sa Jollibee.
Oh yeah, nakita ko din yun.
250 sa Starbucks, tapos 200 sa Grab. So, ang bilis na daw maubos ng 600. But reading that, parang it really reminds me of lifestyle inflation. Kasi if malaki na yon and it's too much in terms of your pie of income, then it means you're a victim of lifestyle inflation. You have to have the right habits na maliit ka muna. Parang try to save as much as possible. If hindi mo kaya mag-Jollibee in terms of the amount na yung 150, what if you try to do meal planning or lutong bahay, or may mga ibang cafeteria that would offer food at a more affordable price? Or let's say Grab na hindi nga predictable, and alam ko, I really recognize it na nagmamahal nga talaga kasi right now they're a dominant provider, di ba? Why not use other services also that are less expensive, so that once you grow your income, that's when you get to sort of enjoy a bit the earnings or the income, pero hindi agad-agad kasi kunyari it's already taking too much of your income, then wala ka nang may ipon, wala ka nang masisave. Another idea comes to mind. I think it's all about delayed gratification also, one of the values that my parents have taught me. It means na I need to keep working, and I have to gratify myself. I need to reward myself after the work has been fruitful. Diba? Parang I need to enjoy rin naman the fruits of my labor. Pero not agad-agad, diba? You don't plant a tree to harvest the fruits the day after. So I think that's one thing. Be patient. Alam ko in the instant world that we live in now, na sobrang bilis na lang. If you need to shop, you go Lazada, Shopee. Need to get food, grab food. And Food Panda. Parang bilis-bilis eh. So I think a little bit of patience, a little bit of delayed gratification will go a long way. I think that would be my advice.
Yeah, ang ganda nun, no? Kasi ang dali lang ng ng at the fingertips lang, mauubos agad yung inipon mo or yung kinita mo eh. So, yung sinabi mo, no, na because lumalaki yung sweldo, sumasabay yung lifestyle. Yun yung parang ganun eh. So, parang natin, deserve ko to, deserve. Dapat pinagtunan ko to, pinaghirapan ko to, waldas. Pero yun nga, very short-sighted. Ang ganda ng sinabi mo, di ba, na yes, you enjoy life, pero do it reasonably and not compromising yung roadmap to build a better future, di ba?
Yeah,
Ah,
ganda nun.
yung inisip ko, kasi syempre, some people are watching na, okay, Enrong, ganda ng sinabi mo. Lahat ng pwedeng pagtitipid, ginawa ko na, kaso breadwinner ako. Kumbaga, marami na nga siyang, for example, if I was listening, Enro, maganda naman investing. Hindi na nga ako nagkakape ngayon eh. Hindi na nga ako nagla-love life ngayon para less gastos. Eh. Naglalakad na lang ako pero kulang pa rin. Ano yung mga pwedeng advice mo sa kanila para at least kumita ng mas malaki? Kasi sabi mo, nag-side hustle ka din before eh.
Yeah, that's a good follow-up question. That's a really good angle to it. Kasi if you really can't save, it means you need to increase rin your income. And ako, especially to this generation, it's not necessarily chasing the money, but it's become a person of value. Ako, I'm a big believer na the more value you are in the workplace, the compensation will just follow. It's a direct proportion to that. So the bigger the problem, the bigger the man that needs to handle the problem. Ika nga. So ako, I really, especially if let's say you're in the workplace, try to be that person of value. In terms of doing the special projects, about learning the skills, the platforms, all of the learnings and what it takes to be the best person at your role, do it. Kasi may kita yan ng mga bosses mo, may kita yan ng mga owners of the business so that they can also elevate your income and elevate your responsibility in the company. If you're in, let's say, sales naman or freelancing, it's all about being the best at what you do or being the best salesperson, let's say, for that certain product and delivering that value to your clients, for me, will bear more fruit and have more mileage than trying to just chase the money in monetary forms. I'm not sure if that answers the question, pero I like to start talaga with the individual, the person itself, na parang be a person of value, be dependable, be responsible, be a man or woman of integrity so that there's trust, diba? I think whether that's in the work setting or in sales, hindi ka naman bibili sa hindi mo natatrust, diba? So I think those core values are very important so that you can also increase your income and really provide for your family, provide for your loved ones, and also provide for yourself kasi you also need to enjoy the process.
Right. Speaking of enjoy, parang you are the type of person who have saved enough, save more, pero na-enjoy mo. Sinabi mo nga, reasonably enjoying life. Ikwento
Yeah.
mo nga yun. Paano mo ginagawa yun? Kasi syempre, yung mga friends natin, o sige, tara, Japan tayo, or bili tayo ng ganito, or may certain hobby. Paano mo na ma-manage yung ganun na nag-i-enjoy ka pa din, pero meron ka pa rin natatabi for your future?
Yeah, I think as boring as this sounds, I really track my cash flow, parang money in, money out. I think it started with that. If I can share
Budgeting, ganun, budgeting.
Oh, pero not necessarily budgeting to the last centavo. I think first step is I had to understand where my money is coming from and where I'm spending my money. So I think even a bit of understanding of that will allow me to know na, okay, medyo malakas ako mag-spend sa food, eating out. There was a time na I spent a lot on alcohol kasi labas, gimmick, going out, partying, ganyan. But also there was an allocation na I'm spending too much on gas, for example. So at least having that understanding na, okay, dito ko nasispend yung money ko. What are the certain levers that I need to change or at least lower down so that I can save more. Ako, I don't want to invalidate, diba, na lahat naman tayo may luho. People here like to travel. Ako, my sisters, they like to attend concerts. Kahit ako hindi ako talaga ma-concert. Actually, yung luho ko would be more of gadgets. So I like spending on gadgets. I like the latest technologies and innovations. Pero it's also something na alam ko, if I can't buy it twice or I can't buy it 3 times, hindi ko siya bibilhin kasi hindi ko siya afford. Even if in cash terms, afford ko siya, parang I always hold off. I would say na, okay, baka If I earn a certain amount, part of that will be for this. Kung may bonus ako, it will be for this. Pero it won't necessarily take parang a large chunk of my income. And I think on top of that, what I want to share is um, huwag kang mangutang to buy something. I think, syempre in this day and age, ang dami na, nakikita ko yan sa mga Facebook feed ko or sa algorithm ko, maraming mga loans, no? Parang ang dali ngayon kumuha ng loans. But as much as possible, we have good debt instead of bad debt. Diba? Good debt is debt that steers us towards our goals. Bad debt is steers us away from our goals. So bad debt is purchasing assets na hindi naman natin afford, tapos nagde-depreciate, or spending on things na just to impress other people. Ako, as much as possible, it's about being more valuable in the workplace. Let's say you're gonna buy a car to reach places much faster. Parang that would be a better value for my money than spending it on things na pang show lang, di ba? Hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, like very inspiring yung kwento mo, no? Kasi sometimes you have a tendency to impress people, right? Especially Gen Z, fresh grad, or at least nag-work na for many years.
Social
Minsan yung tendency, oo titingnan mo yung people around you, kamusta na ba sila, ano na ba yung kotse nila, ano na ba yung sapatos nila, ano yung gadgets nila. Di ba yung ganun eh? And comparison is deadly eh. Nangyari kasi if we compare ourselves to people, una, let's say, feeling natin nakakaangat tayo, ay, eto na ako, ganito lang siya, nangyari, nagiging mayabang tayo, di ba? Tapos kung nagiging mayabang, magiging complacent pa tayo. And on the flip side, if we compare to someone na feeling natin mas mataas sa atin, may self-pity naman, ay, kawawa naman ako, ito lang kasi yung buhay ko, di ba? Like, it's not good to compare eh. Talo ka when you compare. It's good to have an inspiration to other people. Like, for example, I'm sure, Enro, you are the person who people inspire to be. Diba? Pero syempre, dapat hindi yung naiinggit ka. Dapat let's be happy for the people around us. Right?
Yeah. I think to add to that, maganda nga yung sinabi mo na and ako, I want to add to that na yun nga, because of social media, because of the shiny new things that we see, oh wow, nasa Japan na naman siya. Wow, sa Paris sila na-engage. Yung mga ganun, parang comparison nga talaga is the thief of joy. But ako, I want to use it productively kasi ako, jealousy for me is also a signpost, di ba? Parang it's a sign na ingit ako kasi gusto ko yung meron siya. So I try to use it as a sign na, okay, what do I need to do in order to get that? So for me, it's a healthy way of looking at it versus, parang having that victim mindset na ako, ganito lang ako, ito lang yung kaya ko. Parang maganda nga yung sinabi mo na we need to look at them and be inspired and be empowered also na kung kaya niya, di kaya ko rin. Di ba? That's nice.
Yeah. And meron kang sinabi kanina na meron kang sinet aside na budget to buy something, pero hindi mo siya bibilin agad. Gagawin mo, you will make your budget 2 times or 3 times na kaya mo siyang i-afford. Where is that coming from? Ang ganda kasi nun eh. And to some people, baka tempted na sila, sige, umabot na 50,000 pero ako, bili na ako laptop. Parang with the principle that you're sharing, hintay mo munang umabot ng 100,000 or 150,000 for you to buy that 50,000 gadget. Can you share more of that?
Yeah, I think there's this really beautiful quote that my dad says, and we call him Boss Rex sa office kasi. He said, pagdating sa luho, kurot lang, wag takot. So, in visual terms, it's so clear na dapat kumukurot ka lang sa wealth mo or sa pera mo. Kasi kung dumakot ka, it means hindi ka makakapagtabi for savings and investments. And I think that stuck with me ever since I was very young. Kasi it means na when I have something nice, kurot lang yan. Diba? Mas malaki pa yung pinanggalingan yan. And I believe I'm also just grateful for parang my exposures because it's not just my dad, my parents, but also his friends and also his mentors in other industries as well have the same mindset. Kasi yun nga, if you're just trying to impress others, then it means you're giving them the responsibility of your validation. But for me, I really believe na you need to validate yourself. You need to look in the mirror and say that you're happy where you are, you're happy with your identity and what makes you you. Kasi if let's say you give other people the responsibility of your happiness, edi pag may sinabi na silang masama about you, sad ka na. Parang medyo depressed ka na. Ako, I rather steer towards my personal happiness and my personal progress towards the goals that I defined for myself early on. So yun, I don't want to sound very woo woo, but yeah, those are my personal beliefs na um, for me, I really need to stay true to who I am, and what I say about myself, I really do.
Right, yeah. Yun yung maganda, no? You were raised right by Sina Rex. Kitang-kita naman with how you speak, your values, and importante yun eh. Kasi sometimes, nakaka-peer pressure, right? So,
Yeah.
growing up, ano yung nagawa mo to at least battle or overcome peer pressure, especially kung may money na involved? Ano yung ginagawa mo sa pag ako na may peer pressure? O, labas tayo, Japan tayo, ganyan. Or Hong
Yeah.
Kong, Europe.
Actually, that makes me think about like my college days. Ako talaga, maybe I'm the least na peer pressure. I think going back to, let's say, my freshman days in college, yung mga blockmates ko, grabe sila gumastos. As in, they bring their own cars. Tapos gusto nila, kasi I studied in Ateneo. Gusto nila sa Katipunan lagi kumakain, hindi sa school. So parang ako naman, parang okay, labas tayo, pero may dala akong baon. Believe it or not, may dala pa akong baon so that as much as possible, I don't spend my allowance even if my parents give me allowance for food. Parang ako, as much as possible, hindi ko ginagastos yung allowance ko na yun. I rather save up for it um, and use it for other things. Pero I think that would be one example, yung being resourceful and creative kasi for me, if I'm going to spend my money, I should get the value of that money. For that specific instance, when I was going out with my friends, yung value of going out was being in the company of my blockmates, not necessarily eating the food. So I just try to be creative. I try to be resourceful na, okay, I have that company of friends. We have the kwentuhan, we have the laughter. Pero di ako gagastos sa pagkain. Dala ko yung baon ko. Which turned out to be a really good decision kasi I got the best of both, di ba?
Yeah, ang ganda ng kwento mo na actually naalala ko rin yung time when I was in college. Siyempre nung college, I mean, at least during that time, may budget pero tight. Yun yung
Yeah.
time na yung Starbucks medyo, alam mo yun, pag medyo cool kapag ka nagsa-Starbucks or
Oo.
normally madalas dun yung tambayan sa Starbucks. So what I did, bro, pagka hang out sa Starbucks, katulad ng sinabi mo, yung value is with the company, yung kwentuhan. Makikipagkwentuhan ako doon, pero hindi ako order ng kape. Pero
Oo, di ba?
majority, marami. Pwede ka naman makitambay eh. Inom ka lang ng tubig or, di ba? Ganun naman yun eh. Mga resourcefulness diskarte. You have to do what you have to do, di ba?
Yeah, and I think wala akong hiya kasi I really accepted it. I embraced it as my identity. Na hindi naman ako tiyan pero yun nga, resourceful and I won't spend on money na alam ko I don't get the value or I would rather be doing other things.
Yeah, like, it just shows eh. Yun yung maganda, Enro eh. How we live our lives, even as young as we are, it will shape us on how we will be in the future. Yung mga
Yeah.
minor things na ganun, it can be an indicator on how successful you will be eh. Kasi, di ba kung sa younger years mo pa lang, nagiging firm ka sa goals mo, hindi ka nagpapa-peer pressure, you work on your goals. It's an indicator talaga eh. Kaya even sa college pa lang, it can shape you eh.
Yeah, that's really true and yeah, I think I'm also blessed na yun. I also had good company kasi kahit na peer pressure ako tas hindi ako alam mo yun, bumayad ng pagkain sa labas. Parang they still accepted me as their friend, 'di ba? So I
Yeah.
think that's also important, choosing good friends.
Right. Totoong kaibigan nga sila. Siguro question, Enro, no? Kasi ang ganda ng kwentuhan natin regarding your friends. So, kanina we talked about peer pressure. What if, hindi naman peer pressure, pero temptation naman in terms of you have your financial goals, pero biglang boom, nag-mark down, 70% off yung gustong-gusto mo, pero wala siya sa budget. I'm saying that example kasi may mga tao pagka nag 11, 11, 12, 12, alam mo yun yung parang gusto nila mag-ipon pero nandyan yung temptation. So, ano yung ginagawa mo to at least not succumb to temptation and still pursue your financial goals?
Yeah, oh, that's a good question kasi yun nga, ang daming mga marketing ngayon lalo na sa digital. My gosh, itong mga double. May mga 11, 11, mga 5, 5. Pero ko one technique is really just adding it first in your cart. Not buying it right away. I think many of especially the younger generation mahilig sila mag-impulse buying. I think not just the younger generation pala. I think everyone in terms of um, what do you call this? Parang all of us tend to have phases na medyo may impulse purchase. And ako, I'm guilty of that rin. I'm not perfect naman. But for the digital age, kunyari in today's world, I try to add to cart first and really think about it. I'll let a few days pass, I'll let a week pass. Tas kung 1 month na wala pa, parang it means na, okay, hindi ko siya kailangan kasi nandun siya sa cart ko tapos hindi ako nag-check out. But to answer your question head on, na kung sobrang discounted na tapos I'm really tempted. For me, as long as you're getting what your money's worth, you will, at the end of the day, you will justify that purchase eh. Kasi kahit na hindi siya nag-super discount, kung nabili mo pa rin, you will justify why you bought it. Whether that's a mega discount or SRP. I-justify mo, hindi, ito, tataas to yung value ng sapatos na to kasi Kobe's, tapos very rare. Ito, tataas to, it will help, hindi, itong gadget na to, it will make me more productive at work kasi mas mabilis yung processor, mas malaki yung screen, so mas marami akong windows na malalagay. At the end of the day, we will justify it to ourselves. But, yun nga, if it comes a point na talagang tempted ka na, just make it your money's worth. Parang, okay, buy it, but get the most value out of that thing. Let's say if it's yun nga a gadget and you justify to yourself na you'll be productive kasi yun nga, faster processor, bigger screen, then prove to yourself na you made the right purchase. It means na mas marami kang presentation na magagawa, mas maganda yung productivity mo sa work, so that it doesn't end with you checking out. It ends with ano ba yung nagawa ko sa item na yun. Maybe that kind of answers the question, but hopefully that gives value to that scenario.
Yeah.
Kasi yung mo
Right,
maiiwasan
right.
eh. Bibilin mo talaga, parang, okay, bilhin mo na. But
Yeah.
make it worth your money.
Kasi yung mga pwede nating i-justify, kasi pag binili ko tong bagong Mac M3 processor, bibilis. Paano kung yung binili hindi for productivity, pero aesthetic lang? Ay, popogi ako dito pag binili ko.
Ayun, iba yun. Baka yun, more of knowing talaga why you want to buy it. I think that's
Right.
the parang underlying message pala about adding it to cart muna and thinking about it. Parang you need to know what your objective is for buying that thing. Is it to impress other people? Is it because it's a new shiny thing na baka maganda siya sa desk ko sa office para ganito ganyan? You really need to know why you're buying it so that in the end, if you have more clarity and better discernment, tapos hindi pala for you, then you won't buy it. Or if it's really for you and it's really a big chunk of your budget kasi unplanned siya, then make it worth your money.
Right. Grabe, no? So much wisdom. Kasi our topic, at least for this part 1, is the younger, the better na nag-invest and nagsisave. How young ka ba nag-start mag-invest, mag-save, ganyan?
Yeah, actually, in terms of technically investing, I was still in school. I was still a teenager. I was technically investing na kasi my dad set up an account for me. Tapos binibigyan ko siya ng pera ko, yung mga naipon ko, or especially pag birthday ko or Christmas, tapos may nagregalo ng cash, I'll tell my dad, I don't need this money now. You can invest it. Pero formally, when I was doing my own trades, doing my own research, I think I was 18 already. Parang I was still in college, pero I was more knowledgeable na. I knew na a bit about stocks, what companies were doing, how it works, and that education led me to do it myself na. not
Right.
necessarily with the help of my dad. Pero very fortunate na we can talk about it. I can ask advice kasi I didn't want naman na 100% ako lang yung gumagawa ng decisions ko. I always try to consult syempre the experts, and in that case my dad. So early on, teenager, setting aside that money for investments. Pero 18, I was doing my own trades. And yun na, when I entered the workforce, I expanded na rin. Stock market, mutual funds. Yan, nung ano yung crypto. Actually, in college pa lang ata, medyo ano na yung crypto. I knew it was a bit speculative. So I put money, pero it was money that I can afford to lose. I think that's one
Yeah.
value rin my dad told me na pag hindi ka sure pag speculative, it's money that you're prepared to lose.
Right. Yeah. And mas pag-uusapan natin yung investing sa part 2. Pero before we end this part 1, 'di ba, you mentioned no na you're blessed na may nag-help sa'yo, yung ganyan, tapos you started early. Yung inspiration doon, kasi let's say there are people who are watching and they are maybe in their 40s, in their 50s, or 30s, or 60s. Isipin nila, oh, parang ang late ko na. Pero syempre, yung maganda doon, pwede silang bumawi sa younger generation, sa anak nila, sa pamangkin nila. They can already instill that, but they can still start. So ano yung message mo for people who are watching na they are not as young anymore, pero interesado pa rin? Is it too late pa ba? Let's say, 40, 50, 60 na sila magsa-start.
Yeah, I think with any line of work or any profession, it's never too late to start, especially dito sa investing kasi um, being a student of life for life, I really like consuming information, learning from books, YouTube, podcasts as well. I'm a big believer na it's never too late to start. I mean, I think the biggest example is, I think the founder of KFC, parang after 16 niya ata na-start yung KFC, but look at where KFC is now. It's worldwide, it's global. When it comes to investing, if you're 50, if you're 40, that's also still a long runway. In financial terms, actually 10 years is still a long runway to go. So it's never too late to start. Pero I'd like to answer it also in another way with a Chinese proverb. The Chinese proverb goes as, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is today. So if you're listening to this podcast or this video, parang start today. Have skin in the game. Try to learn as much as possible and as fast as possible so that you can take advantage of the time that you have left. Yon.
Right. Ang ganda ng quote niyo, parang nababasa ko yun sa mga mga plantation program eh. So very 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 wise rin naman yun na applicable not just sa actual puno but even in investing. Siguro Enro, as we end this part 1, any like last words in terms of saving?
Yeah, I think ako, maybe the people listening now or the younger generation who have a hard time saving, try to break it down. I know it's overwhelming, kunyari sinasabi, okay, emergency funds 3 to 6 months. Eh pag kinumpute nila, wow, ang laki pala ng kailangan ko. Try to break it down on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. Let's say, okay, this week, try to save 500 pesos. So how will you save that 500 pesos? Is it lessening 50 pesos sa food, um, lessening 50 pesos sa commute, for example? So how do I do that? And then let's say some month that already builds up. So um, small decisions can actually make a big impact in the long run kasi yun nga, all of these things, they build up. And I hate to use the example na yung Starbucks, pag hindi mo spined after X years may Ferrari ka na. Pero 'di ba yung marami naman walang Ferrari, but try to really break it down and try to save as much as possible even on the small decisions, not just on the big decisions, para hindi overwhelming and nag-e-enjoy ka pa rin. We don't want naman na yun nga, very boring, very stringent. Maganda pa rin is we're enjoying life, di ba?
So much wisdom, Enro. I mean, we've learned so much from you. I learned so much from you in terms of saving, being inspired with your story. So guys, if you learned a lot, mag-thank you kayo kay Enro. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. So this concludes our part one, and see you in part two.